Is going on, guys? Welcome back to Coffee with Dudes. We got a good one for you today. As we have been doing a lot lately, we're using ChatGPT. So I put in there what are the five best science-backed mental health tips, and we got top five supported by research in psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science. So we're gonna rock through this list, and hopefully, I think everybody these days. The reason why I bring this up is everybody these days I think can use some tips on mental health. I mean, especially the world that we live in. It's really easy to have like bad days, bad weeks, bad months, bad years, whatever it is. And I think using these things are probably good reminders that Matt, me, and you can use as well. But also just for our audience to be able to take in and hopefully help you down the road. So without further ado, let's start working our way down the list. So this first one is a good one. It says move your body daily.
Mm. It's one of my favorites, man. It's like the first thing that comes to mind, honestly. We talk about how important it is all the time, but I think it's easy to overlook. I'm especially figuring out now, transitioning jobs, that I sit at my desk a lot. I sit down, I stare at the computer a lot. And so the thing that I've been preaching to my clients over the years, I'm actually experiencing it more as I'm sitting behind a computer more for longer duration. And
Yeah.
man, dude, I could see how people can go crazy really easy. I could see how people get out of shape so quick and just not even thinking about it. And I think movement is one of the best things that we can do for our bodies. I'll say this too. Depending on what my schedule is for the day, when I'm able to hit my workout, get a good sweat, lift some weight, put my body through some resistance, and then I can start my day, I'm much more clear. I have less brain fog. I feel like I'm on top of it. Things are quick. I feel like I'm functioning. I feel like I've already been up for a while too. That's a good thing is like
Yeah.
I go into my first meetings kind of just like on top of it versus when I don't and I train later in the day and I haven't moved yet and I'm basically rolling out of bed and going into my first meeting. It's just like, ooh, man, I notice I'm not as sharp. I notice I'm a little foggy. I notice the brain fog is a little bit heavier. So those are some things that I've been recently kind of been paying attention to.
And you nailed it, dude. I was going to say some of the same things.
Yeah.
I like to do the first thing in the morning, move my body, whether that's hopefully a walk, workout, yoga, whatever it is. And here's some things that it says like in here. So it increases your endorphin, serotonin, brain drive, nootropic factor, which improves mood and cognitive function. So a lot of this stuff that we talked about is science based too, right? It's like that's we're feeling those things, but they're actually happening. And it says that regular physical activity is actually linked to lower rates of depression and anxiety. Even just small amounts, like 10 to 30 minutes a day, can have huge effects. And so, start small. And again, like I think first thing in the morning can be really good too. Even if you can just get up 15 minutes earlier, go on a 15-minute walk or do like a small workout, you will feel better. But you're also doing something that's not easy. And so it's like the clarity that you feel going into the day, a little bit more energy as well. And it's just going to lead to a lot better mental health, but also just a lot better productivity throughout your day too and results. And so that's a good starting one. Number two is practice mindfulness or meditation.
Yeah.
What do you got
Yeah,
on this one?
you and I have both gone through some ebbs and flows on this one, huh?
Yeah.
I think we've gone on extremes on this one too. I know
Oh,
you
oh yeah.
have. So why don't you dive into that, like the direction you've been and kind of where you've set, like catch us up to speed where you've settled at to where you're at in present time right now.
Yeah, so I definitely went through some like deep meditation things where I was meditating for an hour a day. If you remember that for a while, I was meditating for a long period of time every day. And it was good, but like a lot of that was extreme, right? So I, tapered it back. Sometimes I was in grooves where I was meditating for 5 minutes in the morning and kind of just starting my day off like that. And then right now, I don't really meditate. I try to breathe throughout the day. Like I have a reminder in my goals and just different reminders, like just to breathe, right? Take some deep breaths, and that helps me get present. Right? I think that's just kind of the huge thing is that breath can really help you get into the present moment a little bit more. And if we're present, we're going to be able to like we're not like thinking or dwelling on the past, right? I think that's the huge thing that comes to mind here is like the more things we can do to focus on being as present with the person or thing in front of us, we're not dwelling. We're not like worrying about the future. All those things can cause a little bit of struggles throughout our day to day. And so I'm not great at this one, honestly. I don't think I've ever really fully nailed this down, but it just talks about just what it says in here. Mindfulness reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for emotional regulation. So, just being present or finding a way that works for you to be present can help with those things. And it says like consistently reduces stress, improves focus, and enhances emotional resilience. So, the science definitely shows it. How do you go about this? As far as meditation or some sort of mindfulness practice, anything that you do?
Yeah, I was like maybe, I mean, over a year ago and maybe beyond, like in the past, I was very same thing. Like I would find ways to meditate during the day. I'd find like some stuff on YouTube and listen to like a 15-20 minute to start my day of just like a mindful success, like affirmation sort of thing like that. And that would put me in a good mind state for a little bit. And just like everything, you kind of go in ebbs and flows with it. And then now catching up to recent speed, again, I think it's different for everybody, but what's been working for me is like starting with some form of prayer. Like for me, it just puts me and helps keep me in the present, and it eliminates the worry about the what ifs or hypotheticals in the future, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And it also doesn't put too much emphasis on the past for me of what's happened or what I wish has happened, or if I could have changed something. It just forces me to focus and be present here and now. And it I will say it's taken a lot of stress and anxiety and worry off of my shoulders, and you know put me in a position where I feel like I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And then I get dragged back to regular society, and I get away from it from a little bit, and I don't dive into prayer. And I'm not like talking about like super complex. I'm talking about just like little simple 5-10 minute things, just having a conversation and putting myself in a position to stay grounded, I think, is the biggest thing. And for me, that's my form of meditation right now, is just prayer. I've been doing that, and sometimes it's simple as just 1 to 2 minutes, and sometimes it's a little bit longer. But I will say, after every time I do it, I feel this weight lifted off my shoulders to where I don't have to worry about all the things that I traditionally like worried or stressed about, or experience anxiety over. It's just like it immediately kind of washes away. And so that's something that's been a game changer for me. But I think everybody finds it in their own way. That's just what's worked for me.
Yeah, I like that. And I made me think about one thing I actually do every day, which is gratitude. I have a few
Yeah.
that come up. I always like think about the things I'm grateful for, people I'm grateful for. Sets the tone for the day, right? Kind of
Hmm.
brings you to the present moment, gets you thinking about the things that you have as opposed to the things that you lack. And so that's a huge thing too. That's pretty small.
I
That
still do that. It's so automatic for me that I just forgot about it. But like, I think you and I have talked about it before. Like when one leg hits the ground, it's thank, and then the other one is you. And I still do that every morning. Like
yeah,
I'm on autopilot on that. So that's been really, really good. It helps you start the day
yeah,
with the right perspective.
yeah. It's a habit, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And number three is prioritize quality sleep. So this is one of the big things here. I'd say this is probably numero uno when I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
think about it. Like and this is something I haven't been great at for a while. It hasn't been as much of a priority as it probably should be for me, but it's such a huge thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like the when you wake up after a good night's sleep, the clear again, it's like that clarity piece. It's like the lack of brain fog, the how you feel about yourself. It's so much better as opposed to like I found for me, when I really have bad sleep, it's like it's so easy to eat less quality foods and like then to have that become like a waterfall of just more less quality foods. And then you just don't feel good. Like the brain side of things, it's like so much easier for me to convince myself of negative things or to go down negative feedback loops when I haven't had as good quality of sleep. And so definitely a huge thing. to focus on. And just kind of to give people a few tips too around that is like, I think that the huge period is like the time before bed. And this is something I haven't done very well again. All of this stuff I haven't done great when it comes to sleep for a while. But, when I was really prioritizing sleep a little bit better and doing better with that, I had like a nighttime routine. It was, 5 to 10 minutes long where it got my body relaxed, my brain relaxed into a state for sleep, maybe some sort of meditation. Sometimes it was like stretching. I did like kind of a stretching, like meditation type deal that was really nice. But then the consistent routine, right? Like having a consistent time you go to bed, a consistent time you wake up, get that your whatever it is. Like my mind's blanking on what I'm trying to think of. Like your circadian rhythm, right? Your line your circadian rhythm, and that's a huge thing. So those are kind of two things outside of some of the stuff we've already listed on this list that people can do. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. It's the biggest thing I think is being consistent with it, and then your body will feel when you're not. And I think if you do it enough times in a row, back to back to back, all of a sudden, if you stay up later one night and you still have to get up at that same early time that you normally do, but you just cut your sleeping window short, or quality of sleep short in that window, you will feel it, and hopefully that's enough for you to get back into the rhythm of things. I know it is for me. So once I get out of my rhythm, and I am trying to avoid or trick my body to saying, oh, I'll be fine tomorrow. It's like, yeah, you will, but how much are you leaving on the table, and how much could you have operated from a potential or max capacity standpoint, versus just like going through the motions and then asking yourself why you can't answer stuff as quick, you can't find answers as fluently as you normally do, and something just feels a little off. And like, to be surprised at how much of a difference it actually makes when you get some quality sleep. Like, you will feel like a different person. I know I do personally.
Of course, good stuff. We got two left here. This one's great as well. Number 4 on this list is nurture social connections.
Mm.
What are your first thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think this is great too. I fall victim to this because I'm a very like, I'll figure it out by myself sort of guy. Like, I'll grit and grind through it. I'll find a way to get out of the slump myself, and that's kind of how I've always been, kind of just white knuckle grit through it. And I've embraced more and more to allow myself to open up, even this podcast being one of them, being an outlet to share our ideas together, and kind of brainstorm on stuff, and with the goals and ambitions of helping people and putting a word out there that somebody can share and maybe take something from it. But more so selfishly, it's a way for us to kind of get our knowledge out there, our thoughts out there. I think if you keep them wound up inside, it becomes very difficult. So I think the people that you have in your network are super, super important. And I would say that I haven't realized that as much as I have within like these just last couple years. Before that, like, if you went like 2, 3 years back, I'd have been like, I could do all this by myself. I could do this life thing by myself. I was very just like self-driven, like, this is all on me. Like, I understand, I make my bed and lay in it. If I'm in a funk, or I'm frustrated with something, or I'm going through something mentally, like, I'll get myself out of it. And that's cool. And like, it wasn't that I didn't, like, there were times that I did, but was it the best way to go about doing things? Did I learn from those experiences of trying to do it all by myself? Yeah, absolutely. And so having a network of people that like, and trust, who you can tell things that won't judge you no matter what, and you can kind of say and speak your mind, I think has been phenomenal. And honestly, this pod has been one of them, dude. So yeah.
And it couldn't agree more, man. It's like I've always been that way too, and I still struggle with that a little bit, like trying to like keep things in, right, and not share
Hmm.
things and not get help from people. I've gotten better at being more honest with people in that sense, and like bringing people in, um, bringing Marissa in, talking with friends and family. Again, this podcast as well is a great source for that too. But it is so important, right? People want to help. And even like talking to, like, I've gone to therapy at certain parts of my life that helped me a lot too. Like, just being able to share with somebody who, is impartial, they're not in your life necessarily, can be helpful depending on what you're going through as well. And so, I think that it's important to keep people close around you, to talk with friends and family, even if you're not necessarily around, like give people a call, talk with people. Maybe they're going through something too, and they could use your help. Like, having a good support system of people that you, like you said, you trust and you can share things to that aren't going to judge you for them, but also that can share things with you and you don't judge them as well as a
Yeah.
huge thing. So, that is, I mean, all of these are so good. Like the ChatGPT is right on the
They're
money.
undefeated, man.
And it says people with strong social ties have a 50% increased chance of longevity and better mental health outcomes, according to
Agreed.
a study. And the last one on the list is journal your thoughts and gratitude. So we actually talked about this one in the sense, at least the gratitude piece of it is huge. I think
Mhm.
that goes hand in hand with mindfulness in my mind because it's bringing you into the present moment in some respect. Gratitude, it's like the key for a lot of stuff. It's so easy to focus on the negative, to focus on the things outside of your control, but that gratitude for the people and the things and everything in your life, big, small, like it's a huge thing. And if you can start to remind yourself every day to do that, like you said, first thing in the morning, it's one of the first things I do. I generally do it on my walk. It's just absorb that and really let yourself truly feel it. Don't just check a box. I've
Yeah.
definitely been through that too, where it's like checking a box. Oh, I'm grateful for this, this, and this. We don't feel anything.
Hmm.
Whereas, like, if I kind of really allow myself to feel all of it, it really helps a lot with me moving forward the day in the best possible way.
Agreed. I think that's great advice. And I think for most people, myself included, is anytime we want to try to improve a specific area, I think a lot of times we have this fear, or what holds us back is from getting started in the first place, is we feel like it has to be this overcomplicated process, or we have to start this huge, like massive routine versus just like set aside 5 minutes, set aside 2 minutes, set aside 1 minute and take action towards it. Cause I think we build, you know, this mindfulness and these practices of these top 5 things that are all phenomenal, by the way. We don't have to go from doing none of them to doing all 5 of them. Just pick one would be my suggestion. And I know there's already 2 in my mind that I could be a little bit better with, and that's where I'm going to kind of push the throttle a little bit and make some strides in that direction. But that would be my encouragement to people, is like, don't try to tackle all 5. Like, pick one that sounds interesting to you, and start now, start today, start like this moment after you're listening to this pod, or you're hearing our conversation here, and keep things as simple as possible. And you'd be surprised at how effective it is versus having this huge to-do list or this huge task, that seems so daunting that you're at the bottom of the mountain staring up and you're like, I don't even want to get started. Just take those first couple steps.
Yeah. I like great advice. And there's a lot of things that we went through. So just being able to try different things, like try different mindfulness things, try different gratitude practices. Again, you could journal, you could, say it out loud. You could, do your thank you like for life thing that you do in the morning. But there's a million different gratitude practices. There's a million different ways to go about morning movement. All of these different things are great, but I think that's great feedback. Just start with 1 or 2 of them and add it to try different things. Like, again, to recap the list: number 1, move your body daily; number 2, practice mindfulness or meditation; number 3, prioritize quality sleep; number 4, nurture social connections; and number 5, journal your thoughts and gratitude. So hopefully this one was helpful for you guys. I know it was helpful for me. It sounds like it was helpful for you as well, just to kind of look through these and be like, okay, yeah, we can be better here. It could definitely be better with prioritizing sleep and just different aspects of some of these things. So definitely going to start to put in place things that are going to help me there. But hopefully you guys can just share this with somebody that you think could help with this. I think this is a huge one that can help a lot of people out there, just like it helped Matt and myself. So share it with somebody you like, love, who could benefit from it. We appreciate you watching and listening every single week, and we'll be talking to you soon.